All Ohio State starters are good to go. Welcome to Camp Randall Stadium. These are the Pregame Keys. He is 10 TV's Adam King. I am Austin Ward. What an absolutely beautiful day.
It's perfect. I thought it was going to be a little cooler. I thought it might be rainy. This suit is too hot for what this weather brought, but you couldn't ask for better weather for the third weekend in October.
Yeah, had a lovely walk through campus here this morning in Madison as the Buckeyes, undefeated Buckeyes, getting ready for Wisconsin. Reeling a little bit. They will also be without their starting quarterback for the third game in a row. So you look at the availability report, not so great for Wisconsin. They are on Hunter Simmons at starting quarterback. He has struggled in the last couple of weeks. Conversely, Ohio State, with an off week looming after this, they have everyone available. That includes Lorenzo Styles. That includes Edric Houston. So you're looking at this group that's getting healthier. There are players out, but nobody that's in that starting lineup for Ohio State. Now the question then becomes, Adam, how much will they actually play?
Well, this is Pregame Keys, and that's one of my keys is don't play them unless you need to, and I'm sure that's what the plan is for Ryan Day and Ohio State. There is no reason to put Edric Houston and Lorenzo Styles at more risk, knowing full well you have what could be then 21 days of rest that they can get in there, spanning from the Illinois game all the way till they take the field against Penn State. That's most important, and I don't think, if there's a world where those two have to be on the field, something has gone horribly wrong in this game.
Right, yeah, and I think we can probably include Bo Jackson in this conversation as well. He left the game at Illinois early with an ankle injury. He looked on Wednesday totally fine. Yeah. Didn't have anything on the ankle, didn't have anything on his knee. We've been paying close attention to the way he's walked off the field for the last month as he's become the starter, become the bell cow for Ohio State at tailback. He's not listed anywhere on there. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that Bo Jackson has to get 20 carries against Wisconsin.
No.
Doesn't mean that, as you mentioned with Lorenzo Styles, that he needs to play every single snap in the nickel, because with that shoulder injury, Ohio State, I think, my understanding, clearly trying to avoid a surgery scenario that would keep him out for an extended period of time. So I think we're probably trending towards a game where Devin Sanchez plays a lot. Again, this is
another moment for Jermaine Matthews.
For Jermaine Matthews to play in the slot here. That was really successful for Ohio State at Illinois. They know that they can get through this game that way, or at least you would assume so, because Wisconsin has been incredibly limited on offense, and now they're still playing at less than full strength at quarterback.
Well, the one thing going back to Bo Jackson, I actually want to see Bo Jackson in this game. And I understand if he's not ready to go, if he's not full strength, do not force it. But I think, and people are going to hate to hear this, I want Ohio State to focus and lean on the run game yet again. I love what they've been doing the last few weeks, which has been challenging this offensive line, challenging these running backs. This Wisconsin team, they are not the same team that we always are used to with Wisconsin. They're
not even a Luke Fickell team.
No, they're in a very dark spot around campus here, and they know it. But you still want to, you're going against a Big Ten line here. It's either way. That's tough to do. You want to go out there and establish that run, which has been so important for them. Something that as you get into that second chunk of the season and everybody's circling that final game, I know that people want to throw it 100 times. That's just not how it's going to work. You got to find a way to make the run game work, and I think today is a good opportunity to continue to lean on that.
Well, and earlier in the week, there was all this conversation about, look ahead to that forecast. Like, if Ohio State is going to throw to then set up the run, that's a viable strategy. Yeah. Would they be able to do that if it was raining? Could Julian Sayin, what would he do to handle the elements for the first time? It's another first-timeness opportunity for him. That's not going to be the case. Like the sun,
I don't think so.
I don't see a single cloud in the sky. The sun is beating down. It feels great out here, to be honest with you. I was anticipating, because it was a little wet and gloomy this morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, it feels like Big Ten weather.
Yeah,
you're up in Madison. Weather. There was good vibes around campus last night. I'm not sure that that's actually the case. It's a great day for tailgating, and Wisconsin is famous for it. And walking through campus, like, everyone was like, "Oh, you guys are from Ohio? Hopefully we can stick around until halftime." I was amazed at the way that they've responded to this.
So yesterday I went out on campus and I decided I was going to feel the confidence level of fans, and I talked to probably 20 fans through all of it. They are in a bad spot.
Yeah, they are.
I feel bad, because this is not the Wisconsin program we know of even 2 years ago when Kyle McCord came in here. It's very different. It's a lost way. And somebody said to me yesterday, I thought this was pretty spot on. They said it's not entirely Luke Fickell's fault, because there are bigger things at play here. At the center of it all, you need backing from every person that influences your athletic department, and they don't necessarily have that. But somebody's got to be at fault, and it's going to fall on Luke Fickell here. But, man, they are in a bad spot on this campus. One kid said, he doesn't even care about jump around anymore.
Oh.
It's the whole shebang.
That's like when they're joking about it, it's like, oh, maybe you can get to halftime. Maybe you can actually get enough people to stick around for jump around at the end of the third quarter. A couple years ago, experiencing that and the press box shaking, it's like, this is what college football is about. And I really believe, like, Camp Randall, Wisconsin, the pinstripes and, overalls and the spotted cow and like, this is what it's all about. And it's kind of, it's a bit sad.
It is.
To be getting ready for Ohio State, a kickoff against Wisconsin, and being like, well, it's a 25.5-point spread. And the best thing that Wisconsin could have hoped for was some rain, and they didn't even get that.
And the crazy thing is, the one thing that will tell you everything about this Ohio State-Wisconsin game that you need to know is that there's sunlight out right now. Because when Ohio State plays in Madison, they play at night. They play that game under the lights, spend the whole day riling up their fans because they think they have a shot. They played this game at 3:30 because it's just not what it should be. I picked this game preseason to be one of the toughest on the schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm very wrong. You look at pregame keys. I mean, the pregame keys for the Buckeyes, you just have to go play your game. I mean, the one thing that has frustrated me with fans a little bit, not Ohio State, but like the expectation that Ohio State has to win 70-0. You cannot go into a football game with expectations if you don't win by 60 that it's a failed day. Ohio State wins this game 38-3. They need to be very happy. They need to get on the plane and go home and get ready for Penn State. I know it's not as pretty on the stat sheet. I know it's not as pretty on the scoreboard, but that's what's important to me is get out to an early lead. Let's get the younger guys in this game. I guess if you want to look at the Heisman, maybe that 10-4 connection a few times would be helpful, but really, this game should not be a game by the end of the middle of the second quarter.
No, this should be an opportunity. And the other fascinating part about it is if you were just like, you could line this up and say, Ryan Day, as you mentioned, you want to see the running game and this NFL style approach and limiting possessions and limiting snaps. Like, Ohio State could probably, carve a blueprint that's taking care of the football and winning 24-3 like they did, a month ago, 24-6, or even what they did last week, 34-16. Now that'd be a lot of points for an inept Wisconsin offense. Yeah. But my point is, I don't know that the goal is going to be, even though you've seen all the struggles from Wisconsin, to go out and score 50 plus points in this game. And are there opportunities to throw on Wisconsin? Absolutely. It's one of the worst secondaries in the Big Ten. The quote unquote strength of their team is the rush defense. So if maybe you would say that you could find something out about Ohio State's ability to run the football, but that's even been proven to be a little bit of a mirage because teams are just having so much success throwing, they're not even trying to run. And then Iowa, they're limited. A week ago, they came in, won this game 37-0, and ran for over 200 yards on Wisconsin. So, I'll be interested to see what Ohio State actually emphasizes on offense, because Ryan Day talked about this, and it was one of the more, I don't know that I've ever heard him put it in these terms, Adam, was like, we have not designed schemed up explosives in the run game. So yeah. when we want that, you'll see it. Like, they're not trying to do that right now.
But that's what I thought all along. So hearing him say it, I feel like should give fans a deep breath. They are very much vanilla and then attacking their own weaknesses. Yeah. And I think they need to continue. There's no reason they should come out here. And I understand everybody loved the punt throw from Lorenzo and Brandon Ennis. That should not have been shown in that Minnesota game. I get it. You have to put it on tape, and even if you put it on tape, it makes it tougher for other teams because now they have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But they should put nothing on tape here. They can beat this Wisconsin team playing the most basic game plan. The only thing they need to put on tape is things that they want to focus in on.
Yeah. All right. So there is, one guy who had been working into the rotation who is not going to play today. Logan George is out. Yeah. I don't know, again, if that's going to be a huge deal. And I don't know how much Edric Houston is going to play. Before, I actually saw him on Wednesday night, and neither the ankle nor the knee had any kind of protection or wrap on it. He had a big brace on his left arm and on his elbow, which is not uncommon. Like, Caden Curry's wearing that every single week. So I don't know if that's a new injury, new situation that Edric Houston picked up, because, in that first half against Minnesota, that was the version of 5-star defensive tackle, 3 technique Edric Houston that we'd all been waiting to see. And so can he pick some of that back up? He may be someone that you're trying to walk that line of, do you want him to be shut down on the sideline for a month before you play Penn State? Or would you like to see him get some amount of reps today? I'm not suggesting he would start ahead of Tywan Malone, who has really been on the upswing, but that's a spot that I'm going to continue to look at. Jason Moore played a week ago against Illinois, got a handful of reps. The depth of that defensive tackle group, we've spent 8 months talking about it. I don't mean to belabor it, but I think you're still trying to elevate that group heading into what is coming in November and beyond.
I think when you look at Edric Houston, I like your point. As much as I don't want to see a guy get in there when he doesn't have to, it could be helpful to boost his confidence and to give him just a little bit of something to head into the bye week and say, all right, the first half of the season, it has not lived up to what Edric wanted to see.
Right.
Minnesota game, as you said, was his best game by far. So it would give him something to hang his hat on as you go to the bye week and grow from. But you cannot put anybody at risk in this game, which is crazy to say because, I mean, it's still, like, my mind can't comprehend it. I think I picked the score to be 38-3, and because I think Ohio State respects Luke Fickell.
Yeah.
I don't think if you're expecting Ryan Day to come out here and drop 70, that's just not going to happen because there's too much respect on the other sideline. But I don't know that we'd see Julian Sayin past the first drive of the third quarter in this game.
I think if you see something like 28-35 or 35.
I thought you were saying 28-35, and I was like, oh
no,
my gosh, wow.
Well, that would
the
be crazy.
Wisconsin offense has.
I will boldly predict that will not happen. But my point is, if you get up by 3 or 4 scores, Ohio State in this game, on the road, knowing what's looming ahead, I think at that point they shut it down.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should surprise anybody.
No.
And I don't think it should be a cause for concern if the backup defense gets in there and doesn't have a perfect drive or gives up the shutout, or if the offense doesn't milk the game away the way that they fully envision. Like they're not going to be. There's no reason for Ohio State to be tested in this game, and there's no reason for them to push the envelope physically.
I think we have to move past, especially in the world of college football we are this season. Look last night at Miami. Look at all these teams. It doesn't matter how you win. Just win.
Just win, baby.
That's just win, baby. That was what he said before Texas. And it really, I mean, if they won a national title, it should be on every shirt in Columbus because that's kind of been the mantra this season. And they've done it in so many different ways. Maybe this is the game that they go out there and you see them light them up and then kind of tone it down there in the second half and try to get home. But I don't know. I would not be surprised if they still try to work on things because that's what it is. It's live reps. Yep. It's live action against someone other than your own defense, which Ohio State, when you're going up against your own defense, it's pretty tough.
It is. And live reps, live coverage, 3:30 at Camp Randall Stadium on CBS. That's 2:30 Central Time, and I can't get over how beautiful it is. Very much looking forward to a fun afternoon here watching Ohio State and Wisconsin. Adam King will be back for some snap judgments afterwards. We'll have
Don't tell them now they're not going to watch.
Maybe they will.
Birm might be here.
Could be Birm. I don't know.
Could be Birm.
Maybe we'll parachute Birm, and we'll have
Birm won't be here.
A 3-man broadcast booth for snap
Birm won't
judgments.
be here.
Okay, fine. And Mick Walker of Letterman Row will be running the notebook camera for me. So hoping. Love them on the road. Going to show off some new stuff down there at Camp Randall Stadium. So have a fantastic afternoon, folks. He's Adam King. I'm Austin Ward. These have been Snap Judgments on 97.1 The Fan, 10 TV, and 10 TV Plus. We'll see you later.